You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Oh, I always like to take it a little lower. Here you go. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. Look up ahead. The path is there. The path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared. I know you're scared. And I'm scared too. And I'm scared too. But here I am. But here I am. Right next to you. Right next to you. One more time. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I better start low, right? Hold on, my dear ones, here comes the dawn. Hold on, my dear ones, here comes the dawn. So Steve and I went up to Minneapolis this week. To see what we could do to help, and especially to just check in with our daughter, who's doing resistance work up there. So on Wednesday, we went to a coffee shop near her house, which is also near the Alex Preddy Memorial. And we stopped and, took a moment, and a man went up on the curb and he said, I'm a member of the Oglala Sioux tribe, and in our tradition, 4 days after someone dies, their soul crosses to the other side. He said right now is 4 days to the exact minute that Alex Preddy was killed on this street. And we didn't know, we hadn't connected those dots. And he said, would you, with me, just hold Alex for a moment, or have a moment of silence as he crosses over to the other side. So we did that. And then he said, I'd like to sing a song, and the song that keeps coming to my mind is a song, Thank You, in our native language. And so then he sang the song, which obviously I can't teach to you, but it was beautiful, and all of us strangers there were with him in that moment. And then we went back on Thursday after lunch, and there was a woman who was making things better. Like, things had started to get blown around. So she had crossed in through the cordon and was in the middle, and she was replacing things and reorganizing things. And over and over and over in the cold, with her bare hands, she sang the song that we just sang. Hold on. Let's do it again together. Hold on, hold on. my dear ones, here comes the dawn. Hold on, hold on, my dear ones, here comes the dawn. Hold on, hold on, my dear ones, here comes the dawn. Please rise in body or spirit for our first hymn. May nothing evil cross this door, and may ill fortune never pry above these windows. May the roar and rain go by. With laughter drown the raucous shout, and though these sheltering walls are thin, may they be strong to keep hate out and hold love in.
Good morning. My name is Jason Slaughter, and my pronouns are he, him, his, and I'm a worship associate here at the Unitarian Church of Lincoln, and welcome to February 1. This service may feel a bit different than we've used to on a normal Sunday. First, you may have gotten a little slip of paper in your hands, and hopefully a writing utensil. I like for you to write down, if you're able, if you want to, your joys and sorrows you may have had these past weeks. If you just want to circle joy or sorrow, whichever one you feel you want to provide, you don't have to put your name on it, but just put down your thoughts if you'd like to. If you're viewing online on YouTube, which I can see you out there, please post in the comments section, and I will read, make sure your joys and sorrows are read out as well. The world we have lived in here recently has gotten a little crazier than normal. So, as we gather right now as a community, we may need a moment to open that release valve of how we are feeling lately. I do want to encourage you, though, to come next Sunday, as after the service, we have our monthly service of silent witness. This service has been a welcome place for those people who want to share what's going on in their lives. And we give them respect and equity to those people who want to share their things in their life with silent witness. But so if you feel moved today, please write down your joys and sorrows. Our ushers will gather them during the offering, and they will hand them back to me, and we will be reading them at a point in our service. So if this is your first time, or maybe your 3,500th time to be here with us, we are glad you all are here today. At the end of the service, you'll have an opportunity to speak with our membership coordinator, Stephanie, and to learn more about the Unitarian Church of Lincoln. This month, we started a theme called Embodying Resilience. As worship associates, we picked a theme of heroes because at this time in life, we need to be inspired by the people in our life that have been through life's ups and downs. Our interim minister, A.J. Glosson, said, "The worship of this church is the work of the people." This morning, let us experience the work of the people with the volunteers who make the coffee, work with our children, bring flowers, bake cookies, and share their talents through music and the spoken word. Let us begin our time for worship. Take a moment to center yourself in this place. Find a comfortable place in your body. Take a few deep breaths. And let us continue into worship with our chalice lighting. "For All That Leans Down and Helps Us Up" by Reverend Scott Taylor. We light this flame in honor of all that leads us forward, all that leans down and helps us up after we fall, all that helps us remember the world is planted with seeds of surprise, even when our days have grown dark, even when warmth seems so far away. May this hour of tender and courageous connection help us fall in love again with this wild world. May it reignite our trust that the path ahead will be gentle. May it lure us back to belief in the always returning light. Now let me introduce Karen Heifer to lead us in our offering and announcements.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Karen Heifer. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm your church treasurer. I want to offer a special welcome to those of you who are visiting for the first time. We are glad you are here. Each week, we take up a collection to support the work of this church and our partners in the community. We do this because just as we all grow from our participation in this community, we all give back through our time, talent, and treasure. The ushers will now come forward to pass our offering plates. For our online viewers, you might consider giving via text. Simply text UC Lincoln and the amount to 73256. That's UC Lincoln and the amount to 73256. The offering will be gratefully received. I also have a few announcements to share as our church community extends beyond Sunday morning worship. Today at 6:30, grab a beverage at home, whatever kind you want, and join us on Zoom for the Ministerial Search Committee's cocktail hour. This is a chance to learn about the survey results and what comes next in the ministerial search. The Zoom link is in the Friday e-blast. The Winter Lecture Series begins on Sunday, February 8th. The 2026 topic is America First, Then and Now. The lectures will begin at 3 o'clock in person and live stream. Links are again in the Friday e-blast. And as Jason said, newcomers, please join Stephanie, our membership coordinator, after the service by the big tree in the gallery for a welcoming chat. Thanks.
So if any children or children at heart would like to come up and join me, I'm going to be reading Fitz and the Beautiful Horses. And this is my first time doing Time for All Ages, so I would really appreciate the support. You guys especially happy, right? Yeah, this is gonna be great. All right, so this is Fritz and the Beautiful Horses by Jan Brett. Once there was a walled city known for its beautiful horses. There were magnificent jumpers, splendid charges, and elegant parade horses. The citizens were so proud of these horses that it was decreed that only the most beautiful would be allowed in the city. All others would have to stay outside. One of these was a pony named Fritz. Fritz was not beautiful. He had a long, tangled mane, whiskers on his muzzle, and short legs. But Fritz was very gentle and kind. He was sure-footed and always willing to work. Day after day, Fritz watched the beautiful horses. Some had braided manes and tails and carried lovely ladies. Others had glossy coats and pulled grand carriages. Most of all, he watched the children's horses. I wonder why the children look so frightened, he thought. The children were afraid. They didn't like their horses prancing and leaping. It made them very difficult to ride. As Fritz watched, he thought, I would like a child to ride me. But no one ever noticed Fritz. One day, he climbed to the road leading to the walled city. He tried to take long, graceful strides. He pranced and curved his neck. He threw his tail into the air. Do any of you guys have any idea of what prancing would look like? Does anyone want to show any prancing? No? I think it would look like that. No? The citizens stared at Fritz, and they began to laugh. "Look at that silly horse," they said. Then the lovely ladies and the magnificent gentlemen galloped away, but towards the walled city. The children reluctantly followed behind. "I guess I do look silly," thought Fritz, and he hung his head in despair. Fritz listened to the citizens as they galloped their horses faster and faster. He heard their loud cheers as they rode on to the bridge to the walled city. All of a sudden, he heard a loud snap. The bridge was breaking under the weight of the horses' pounding hooves. Fritz saw a large crack appear in the middle of the bridge. The citizens were on one side and the children were on the other. "You'll have to cross the river," cried the citizens. But the children wouldn't move. "My horse might shy and buck," said one. "My horse might leap and stumble," said another. "We might fall off," they all cried together. "Stay where you are," shouted the citizens. "We will come and get you." But their horses wouldn't move. "The hill is much too steep," thought one horse. "My lovely mane might get tangled in the bushes," thought another. "We certainly don't want to get wet." All the horses agreed. Everyone wondered what to do. Then they noticed Fritz. Fritz carefully climbed to where the children waited. Fritz was not beautiful, but he was gentle and kind. He was sure-footed and always willing to work. The children were not afraid to ride him. One by one, Fritz carried the children carefully down the steep hill. He carefully stepped through the river from rock to rock and up the other side. He finally carried all the children to the walled city. A great cheer went up from the citizens. The lovely ladies cried, "Hooray for the sure-footed pony." The gentlemen said, "How kind and dependable he is." And the children exclaimed, "We didn't fall off." So Fritz was given a special place in the walled city. All the children cared for him and became his friends. From that day on, the walled city was known for its beautiful horses and its very dependable pony. All right, thank you so much, guys. Have fun.
See you later, alligator, after a while, crocodile. We send you out with love and a smile. Thank you for the lessons that you freely share, from the way you play to the way you care.
Thank you all for participating, you felt comfortable for participating in our joys and sorrows. Our first response was a sorrow, but I'm sure, unfortunately, some of the handwriting is not something I can read. I appreciate you providing this. It looks like it's a sorrow of dealing with my brother's sickness, stage 4, it looks like, of possibly an illness. I want to thank you for sharing what you did, because we hold you in our heart. Here's a joy. Beautiful music. Joy. My plan to parole in 85 days is approved. I'll be moving home to care for my mother who has dementia and COPD. Joy. New knee can now drive. Beautiful blue sky today and no wind. Joy. But my sorrow, ice and all the horror it brings.
Joy, the return of BTS and We had to look it up quickly. It's a boy band of some kind. Our daughter keeps us informed as she bears witness in Minneapolis. Sorrow, my health issues have flared up more than usual these past few weeks, making me feel like a burden to my family. Joys and sorrows. I miss the old joys and sorrows moment in each service every week. A joy, a dynamite 6300 club dinner here Friday. Sorrow, vertigo, decreased balance.
Sorrows, the blue bunny hat. Joy, for those showing us the path of resistance and hope amidst a sea of injustices. Sorrows, people are hurt due to white supremacy. This is a sorrow, Mark Hinman passing. And then joys, my son got a new job.
Joys, books, jigsaw puzzles, standing up for peace and justice. The joy of a growing sense of community as we resist those who want to destroy democracy. I'm thankful I'm still able to be present in our services. Joy, secret pen pals. Joy, to see everyone I know. Joy, the resistance is building.
Joy, simple things. People saying hello, seeing people be kind, smiles. Happy times, having fun. Gift of life added on another year. And a sorrow, my client passed. Sorrow for the people of Ukraine, Gaza, and Iran. Sorrow for Renee Good and Alex Preddy. And a sorrow for Muhammad and his family as they suffer at the hands of racists.
I got two more that came in. Joy, grateful that UNL hosted a conference on incorporating the science of play. InfoOne's teaching strategies, also grateful they hosted the Biennial Heroism Science Conference, two highlights of 2025. Joy looks like togetherness, acceptance, sorrow, aloneness, judgmentalism. And online, thank you for joys and sorrows.
We'll now sing 10:02, Comfort Me together.
If you Google the word hero, you find a lot of lists. 5 qualities of a hero. 7 characteristics of a hero. The great 8 traits in a heroic personality. There's even a quiz to learn how heroic your personality is. Or even better, how to develop the traits of a hero. This is all to say that I think the notion of being a hero, the idea of admiring a mere mortal to the extent that you would lift them up that way, can be cheapened, met with cynicism even. So I want to be clear from the outset that my reasons for lifting up Christine Blasey Ford are deeply personal. Like so many, I watched every minute of the Kavanaugh hearings during which Ford delivered her remarks. I watched as someone who had only imagined one thing I wanted to be when I grew up, a Supreme Court judge. A dream I never knew how to pursue, let alone realize. I watched as the mother of 2 daughters for whom, as cliche as it sounds, I wanted a less evil world. I watched as a woman who had survived multiple sexual assaults at the hands of people I knew, my brother's friend, my father's business associate, my high school teacher, a neighbor, my other brother's friend. As these incidents piled up, I wondered, why me? What am I doing to invite these violations? Much later, I would learn a heartbreaking answer. I was a girl, and later a woman, not as confident as I might have been, who was certain to say nothing. Silence and its powerful twin, punishment for speaking up. Tell me why, despite the Me Too movement, sexual assault remains endemic, and why those who assault enjoy such privilege in all the halls of power. Estimates vary all the way from 20% to 82% of girls and women experience sexual assault. I am 65 years old, and it is rare for me to meet someone who doesn't, in time, with requisite trust, reveal they are survivors too. There are consequences in the wake of a sexual assault, but most often they are borne by the survivor alone, totally alone, as was the case for me again and again. I was in my 50s before I considered that my silence might have placed other high school girls in the crosshairs of my teacher. That is why I, like tens of thousands of other survivors who wrote to her after the hearing, felt finally seen and heard through Christine Blasey Ford in her borrowed navy suit and her shoes that were sizes too big for her. It is also why I and many others felt some of the stinging punishment right alongside her for speaking truth to power. I like to think our collective pain held her up in some sort of cosmic way, all of us other survivors flinching inside as she remained apparently calm in the face of what happened during and after the hearing. I so wanted her to be rewarded, not punished, for her courage, her resilience, her sacrifice on behalf of so many silenced girls and women. I published an invented letter from the nominee on my blog days after he was confirmed, a fantasy in which he said things that affirmed her dignity. I won't share that fictional post here, except to note that parts of what I wrote mirrored one thing Ford wrote in her memoir, One Way Back, published in 2024. I read that for the first time this week. Well into the book, she shared in brief what she wanted to hear from the nominee after his confirmation, if she ever heard from him, which she had not, at least at the time her memoir was published. Our wishes were undeniably similar. When I write memoir, I try very hard to do what Ford did so admirably in hers, to be as hard on myself as I am on any who have harmed me, and to be as gentle toward their failings as I am toward my own. She did this. She extended grace to herself and her detractors. She left room for their humanity, even as she held them and herself accountable. Built on her grace and courage, I've tried to speak up and out more since 2018 as I travel the uneven road of my own healing. As Ford has, I have learned the journey is lifelong.
When we were in a Worship Associates meeting talking about heroes and what it meant to be hero, what popped into my head was hero means my mom. I thought about Helen Keller, Abraham Lincoln, Katharine Hepburn, but these are people I admire. My mom was my hero. I need to pause here for a moment to clarify for those in the congregation who know the person they think of as my mom. Patricia Weymouth was my mom. Laura Weymouth was my stepmom. I loved Laura, but Pat was my mom and my hero. hero for the lessons she taught me, mostly by being who she was. She was a biochemist who studied cancer, and yes, she had a room full of mice in little cages, and I loved to help her clean those cages. But more importantly, she was a biochemist when it was unusual for a woman to be working outside the home, and more unusual for a woman to be a scientist. I remember her asking me and my two brothers if we thought she should stop working and stay at home. We were quite confused. Our answer was, no, why would you think that? You like doing what you're doing, and we do fine at home. Much later, when I did some studying about women's roles in the 1950s and before, I finally understood why she asked us that question. Lesson number 1, be who you are and not what others think you should be. She loved traveling, going to museums, reading mysteries, playing instruments, singing, and acting. She loved to garden and cook. She had a book called Stalking the Wild Asparagus. She cooked us cattails, which she had picked. And if you're wondering, they taste like a cross between corn and asparagus, something like that. And one time we made dandelion wine. We found elderberry bushes growing on the roadside, from which she made fried elderberry blossoms and elderberry jam. Lesson number 2, embrace your curiosity and explore whatever interests you. When Mom and Dad moved us to Lincoln in 1958, they looked for a school with a diverse population to make sure that their kids would meet a variety of races and backgrounds. They chose Clinton Elementary, which, at that time, served university-married housing. If I had issues with someone in school, Mom made sure that I thought about why that person was behaving the way they were. The walk a mile in their shoes school of thought. Lesson number 3, be aware and accepting of other people's feelings, problems, and way of life. When I decided to make theater my living, my dad asked me when I was gonna get a real job. Mom, on the other hand, supported and embraced my choice. When I wanted to start my own theater and asked if I could move home with her, this was several years after Mom and Dad divorced, she was happy to have me living with her. She even joined the board of the theater company for a while. Lesson number 4, embrace your passion, even if it doesn't make you a millionaire. My dad had influences on me, but my mom was the person I mostly emulated. Every day, I try to live up to the lessons she taught me. My mom is my hero. Now please rise in body or spirit and sing, way ya ya, whoa ya ya, way whoa, ya ya.
We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we
As I've gotten older, I've begun to recognize parts of myself. When I look in the mirror, I am reminded that I am the spitting image of my maternal grandmother. When I start to get annoyed at people for being unreasonable, I can see the practicality of my paternal grandfather shining through. A lot of the busyness in my mind can be attributed to my maternal grandfather, AKA patient zero for ADHD in my family, and a man whose intellectual curiosity could never be contained in the best way. But currently, and especially in the current political landscape that we're in, I recognize the largest impact left by my paternal grandmother. Edith was the only child of Danish immigrants, born in Worcester, Massachusetts. She met my grandfather at a party when she was a public school teacher right before World War II and had 2 children with him. She was quick-witted and fastidious and stylish, and no one could have really blamed her for living a quiet life as the wife of a successful factory owner. But Edith did not marry into wealth. Wealth married into Edith. Doing the right thing had never been something that Edith thought twice about. She had convictions, strong ones, and it was never a question that she should follow them. When she started working with the International Institute in Lawrence, Massachusetts, she threw herself into the work with every capable bone in her body. The International Institute did work such as helping people with legal immigration, they helped people with housing, they helped them find jobs. Essentially, they did all of the work to make sure that immigrants could find a new home in America. Everyone was welcome to become an American citizen in her eyes, and she simply refused any kind of nativist inclinations. She could have pulled up the ladder behind her, as many immigrants who come to this country have done. It's an understandable inclination and it's safe. But Edith never lost sight of the fact that she had been hired as a child to play violin at a Daughters of the American Revolution Society event, and her Danish mother had been left outside to wait in the cold. This was unfortunate for the Daughters of the American Revolution, who tried in vain to get Edith to join their ranks, only to be put coldly down whenever she had the chance. No one could hold a grudge quite like Edith, and she really took that one to the grave. If you ever wanted to make her mad, all you had to mention was DAR. I was in high school in the early 2000s, a time when the W presidency did what all Republican presidencies do when facing widespread turmoil, aka blaming immigrants for the nation's ills. I was lucky enough to be told, in no uncertain terms, that no one is illegal. I was told that it is a tragedy for people to lose their language and their connection to their culture as a part of being American. I was made to understand that every immigrant was precious and was someone's beloved family member. I see her face in the face of Liam Ramos, the 5-year-old detained by ICE in Minneapolis, and who a judge has ordered to be returned home with his father. I see her in the work for the Center for Legal Immigration Assistance and Lutheran Family Services and in El Centro de las Americas. I know she would be out with me at protests, holding her own sign with stunning penmanship that would be calling for abolishing ICE. I can feel her eyes on me now and can hear her voice say in her crisp Massachusetts accent, "And what are you going to do about it?" I have inherited her inability to stand up for injustice, which I am thankful for, even if it is exhausting. Hers is a legacy that it is an honor to try to uphold as I make my way through the path she so kindly made for me. And now, if you'll rise in body and spirit for hymn number 103, For All the Saints.
Who thee by faith before the world confess, thy name most holy.
being the final speaker after those reflections is difficult. Our sixth principle says Unitarian Universalists are to strive for the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. Bringing about peace, liberty, and justice is a massive task. So the hero I chose to talk about today is you. Right now, you're thinking that's a rhetorical device. No. Imagine me looking you uncomfortably straight in the eye. You being comfortable, me either grasping your shoulder or your lapels and saying, no, I mean you. You are the hero I'm talking about. The hero who is faced with cynics and pessimists who tell you the world's going to hell in a handbasket, there's no point striving for justice. You who've been told there's no point giving away that dollar that you have, it's not enough to make a dent, and yet you give what you can to causes that matter. You who've been told there's no point recycling, I've heard it all ends up in the landfill anyway, and yet you're still trying to live sustainably. You who've been told there's no point in voting. All the politicians are corrupt and incompetent, the Electoral College means my vote doesn't matter, and yet you keep showing up at the ballot. You who are nearly exhausted with the tsunami of sadness in the world right now, and yet you're still wading through those waves and you haven't given up. Some in the room today and online are engaged in the daily fight to protect Mother Earth from all the assaults on her. Some of you are helping new immigrants and refugees who are facing violence, prejudice, and bigotry. Some of you are working with people who are mentally ill, those struggling with addiction, or people who see no hope for themselves. Some of you are working to educate children, your own or others, who are facing a frightening future. No matter how you are engaged in the sixth principle, striving for world community with peace, liberty, and justice, you have a lot on your plate. How the heck do you do it? How are you doing it? I don't know how any of us keep going, but when I see you doing what you're doing, that's why you're my hero, not a rhetorical device. You are my hero. Most world religions have built-in ways for their followers to participate in making the world a better place with a metaphysical activity. You say a prayer, or you light a candle, or you turn the prayer wheel, and then their believers have done their job. But Unitarians, not giving up is turning the prayer wheel. Calling elected representatives who you know disagree with you is our lighting of a candle. Volunteering time on causes that it seems will never be successful is our sacrament. These Unitarian actions of faith I see you doing every day are why you are my hero. I'm not giving up, and I'm still upright somehow, because I see you, and you are the best role models for a hero. Please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, number 1015, I Know I Can.
Though days be dark with storms and burdens weigh my heart, though troubles weigh
thank you for being here and being part of our service today. One thing I forgot to mention is we had a little change in our building. I don't know if anybody knew this, but in our children's wing, we had a little remodel of the nursery. I encourage you to go take a look and see how welcoming and modern it looks now. Please thank Abby. She did a lot of work this week to make that change that is much needed for our nursery room for mothers and fathers who have small children. So thank Abby, and also some Youth in Action who came and painted the room as well. Let's go ahead with our closing words today. Even when the going gets rough, Reverend Linda Barnes. May you embrace your growing with compassion. May courage be yours as you answer your heart's calling. May beauty and wonder be yours even when the going gets rough. And may love always be at your center.
I see it up there and I'm just like, I don't know her. Yeah.
Okay, you're connected, so I can.
Like literally, I look over, I'm just like, oh, I probably can't stop and say hi right now in the middle of it. Yeah, you know? She's super cute. Hi, I'm Ellen. Nice to meet you. Newark down. Do you also go down?